Hello, everybody. This is Queen Win, and I'm recording this orientation video for those of you who missed the meeting that we had yesterday. So, a little bit about the program. We created a new strategic plan last year, and one of the goals in the strategic plan is to enhance your experience while you're going through SUNY optometry, particularly developing meaningful connections between you and the alumni that support your career development, placement, networking, and continuing education. And it's from this goal that we've kept the program going to ensure that all of you have a chance to find a mentor to help you navigate through school. So, if you've never had a mentor before, they're typically someone who's more senior, that has more experience, and they're in a position where they can provide you with information, advice, and perhaps emotional support to a student. And some optometrists may not be older than you, most of them are, but they usually have more experience because they've been out for a number of years, and so this gives them a chance to impart some of this experience to you. The goal of our program is to make sure that you are able to develop a strong relationship with mentors that will last beyond your time at SUNY when you become colleagues with them. Enhance your career development and your satisfaction while you're at SUNY. And the mentoring program is actually a great way for alumni to find an avenue to give back to the college and stay connected with us. And so it really benefits those who want to give back as well. And you'll see in a little bit that there's many alumni who want to do so. Now, the challenge that we've always faced running this program is that there's two main ones. One is the geographical obstacles. Many of the mentors are not necessarily living in New York City, so it's very hard to get everyone together in the same place at the same time to get all of this information to everybody, host events, things of that nature. And many of the students will have mentors in other states, perhaps where they're coming from. And so it is tough that everyone's not in the same place at the same time. Obviously, the other challenge is time constraints. The doctors who are mentors are busy private practice owners. Perhaps they're running a practice, taking care of their kids. Potentially, some of them could be a CEO of something. They're in industry. Regardless of what it is, they're very busy. And on top of that, students, you're also very busy with classes, clinic, boards, what have you. And so it's very hard to stay on top of all of this when both sides are so busy and not everybody's in the same place at the same time. So having said that, we'll try to make this experience the best for you, but just keep in mind that the students will have more of an onus to make sure that they make these relationships work, considering that we have these obstacles. Some of the mentors have told me in the past that they could have given more guidance or that they could have provided more, but perhaps the mentees weren't focused enough or took initiative to kind of drive that relationship. If they don't, it is hard for the ODs to do so because they're also busy and they're the ones that are providing the counseling. Just something to keep in mind. Now, the expectations for you, if you join the Family of Mentors program, that is attend the orientation. Obviously, if you're watching this, you missed the meeting, and so this will be taking the place of the orientation. We expect that you take at least 1 hour per month. And we say 1 hour per month because the mentors also have to be given some realistic expectation of what's expected of them. And so if it turns out that they're able to give you more than an hour, great. But we expect that both them and you put aside at least an hour a month to communicate, whether it's through email, phone, meeting in person, whatever it is. You want to make sure that you figure it out by talking to your mentors in your first meeting together. Once you're matched with somebody, the match will last for the whole academic year, and so it'll start from September of 2019, running all the way through May of 2020. If you're a third year currently, and by the fourth year you feel like you're having a great relationship with your mentor, you can perhaps extend it to your fourth year. Many fourth years do that. But if you choose to find a new one in your fourth year, that's okay as well. We'll also have surveys that you're expected to fill out. So one in the middle of the program to kind of assess how the program's going, and then one at the end for us to get some feedback for the year after. We will also try to put on mentoring events where possible. Again, the obstacle being that not all of the mentors are in New York City, and not all the mentees. Some of you are fourth years on externships. Not every one of you are here, so it is hard to do that. But when we do have a mentoring event, do try to attend those. Obviously, for you, you will have hopefully a better educational experience if you're using your mentor as a source of academic counseling. Perhaps it could improve your academic performance as well. But most importantly, your mentors who are out ahead of you can help you think about and refine some of your career goals a little bit earlier, depending on what they're experiencing in practice and also what your goals are professionally. Now, the mentoring program will be running through the SUNY I Network. Some of you may have already been invited by Alumni Affairs to join this, but if you haven't, this will be the first thing that you do when you come onto the program. You want to make sure that you go ahead and go to sunyinetwork.org. I can send a separate email with the link to remind you if you need to, but then go ahead and use LinkedIn or Facebook or your email to register for an account. Make sure you have a photo so folks know what you look like. Now, once you are able to get through the system and approved, you'll get to take a look at who all the mentors are. So I'll show you how to find mentors in a little bit, but what you want to do is find up to 3 mentors that you are possibly interested in, ranking them 1, 2, and 3, because you don't necessarily will always get your first choice depending on how busy that mentor may be or if they already matched with somebody, so on and so forth. You will finally end up with just one person. It's a one-to-one match that'll last you through the rest of the year. The mentee is responsible for finding and requesting the mentors. And we've decided to set that mentor request day for Friday, September 13th. That's the day that everyone will be able to get into the system and request. Hold off on requesting any mentors for now because I want to make sure that I get everyone's list of 3 mentors and make sure that there's no duplicates. Okay? Now, once you are logged into the SUNY I Network, you'll see that on the top, one of the tabs say Directory. You want to click on that, and then you'll see on the right-hand side, there's a couple of different filters. All right, the first filter you want to open up is the Willing to Help filter. Once you open that up, you'll see that there is one checkbox for all of the ODs in the past who have specified that they want to mentor a SUNY student. And so once you click on that, that'll filter everybody who agreed when they sign up on this platform to be a mentor. And then from there, you can further filter your searches even more. Some of you could do it based on location. Look on the right side, based on a city or a state. Perhaps you are interested in somebody who did a residency or someone who graduated a certain number of years ago. Or you may be looking for somebody in a particular mode of practice that you want to end up in or that you're curious about. These are all filters you may use to find the person that you think could be a good prospective mentor. So go ahead and take some time to check around the platform, find up to 3 mentors and rank them for me, and I will send a form for all of you to fill in. So here's an example of what it'll look like. Here's my profile on the SUNY I Network. You'll see that on the top right, there's a Request Mentorship button. That's what you would do once you're ready to go ahead and request a mentorship. But again, go ahead and hold off on doing that for now. Once you do click that Request Mentorship button, there will be a box for you to come up. This is where you want to go ahead and quickly say a few things just to make sure that the mentor understands why you're requesting them, and then hit Send. All right, so here's an example of something that you could do. Dear Dr. Smith, I saw that you were willing to mentor students in your profile. I want to request you as a mentor because I'm interested in doing a residency in contact lenses and saw that you did one. Also, you live on Long Island, and this is where I want to work in the future. The mentoring program requires only 1 hour per month of your time. If you accept, Dr. Nguyen, who manages the program, will reach out to you and provide with more information about the program. Looking forward to hearing from you more. And you can just, you don't have to write something very long, but you shouldn't write one sentence either. I would go ahead and Write a few sentences saying why you are interested in asking them to be your mentor, and then say that it only takes an hour a month, and then that we can send them more information if they accept. Once you go ahead and send that, this is what it will look like to the mentors. They'll get a mentoring request, and then it's up to them whether or not they decline or accept your request. All right, and then once they do accept, you'll see that in the profile there's sort of a chain icon with a number 1 on it. That kind of shows that they're connected currently with another mentee. So you don't want to target those doctors right there. Okay, and here it'll show who my mentee is if I have one. Again, some considerations for picking a mentor. Some students pick it based on experience. Perhaps they want somebody who's not too far out, so they request a younger OD. Or they want somebody who's got a ton of experience, so they might request somebody who graduated 20, 30 years ago. Mode of practice is another consideration. You can pick someone based on what you're interested in or what you want to learn more about. Geographic, it could be a doctor that is living in a certain city that you may want to end up working in. These are all good considerations, and everyone's different. In the suniopt.edu website, under Career Development Center, you'll see that there's some resources available, including this video, an agreement sheet, a goals worksheet, and some exploratory questions that you can use to help with your mentoring relationship this year. The video is just this video. The agreement is something between you and your mentor. I ask that all the mentees go ahead and get their mentor to sign this, and they keep it just so that everyone understands what the expectations are. The goals worksheet you'll see on the website is a way for you to kind of write down some of your goals that you're hoping to have for the year, and then a few action steps that you can work with your mentor on. It's a way to get you to think about what your goals are as you finish up your education here and moving on to the real world. And the exploratory questions on the site are meant to just get a few items jogged in your memory so that you can consider them. They range anywhere from questions about residencies to questions about what mode of practice to end up in, or finding a job. So I urge you to look at those questions. It'll help you kind of come up with topics to talk to your mentor about. So once you do request a mentor and they accept your mentor, the next thing to do is go ahead and setting up that first meeting. So you want to contact them and say, when can we meet? What time can we meet? And what type of communication do you want? Typically, people get on the phone, or they meet in person if possible, or they can use one of the other formats like FaceTime, Skype, Google Hangouts, whatever you prefer. But this is the meeting where you want to get them to know them better as a person. You want to discuss a few areas that you want to address in the relationship. So maybe it's academic, maybe it's career-oriented, maybe it's all of the above. And then think about what you want to gain from this relationship. Let them know what the expectations are up front. Again, it's an hour a month. Figure out what format they want to use. Everybody has a different preference, so it's up to you to figure that out. And then deciding a date and time that'll work. I urge you to go over the goals worksheet and make sure that you fill out with a couple goals, and then talk to your mentors about a few steps that you can take and work on that together so that you can achieve them by the time you finish. Every month, figure out how far along the steps you've written down are towards your goal, and figure out if you want to make a new goal or reevaluate a current one that you have, and hopefully this will keep you active in this relationship. So here's more of a graphic of what the timeline looks like. The first 30 days is really getting to know your, figuring out who your mentors are, requesting it, reviewing the mentoring agreement and creating a time that you'll meet, establishing some goals, and just making sure that every month you're meeting or talking or communicating at least an hour so that you're building on it. And then the next phase is phase 2, where it's really the rest of the year is you want to keep working on some of those goals. Again, I really urge you to look at some of those exploratory questions in our document on the website and pick a few of them to kind of go through and explore with your mentors. Continue that 1 hour a month Respond to any prompts and surveys that we have. If we do put on any events, go ahead and invite your mentor to come with you. That oftentimes will help strengthen that relationship for you. And then in the last month, if you're a fourth year, you'll be graduating and you will transition into their colleague. And then hopefully you'll become a mentor for some of our students again and take on a new mentee. If you're a third year moving on to fourth year, then we'll go ahead and give you the option of continuing with that doctor or picking up a new one. Okay, we talked a little bit about this. Something that worked really well last year was that I provided everybody with up to $50 if you take your mentor out for a meal or a coffee or a drink. This is not $50 per month or per day. It's $50 per year. So just want to clarify that. The key is, I find that mentees who meet with the mentors physically, visit them at work, shadow them, typically build enough rapport to have more comfort in discussing different topics with them. So I really do recommend that you try to meet up your mentors, all right? Submit your receipts within a month of the meeting. So don't wait until May of 2020 to submit your receipts because we need to have some internal control on our budgets. So please try your best to get it to me within a month of meeting your mentors. You can send me a photo of the receipt. You can PDF something, or you can just print it out and give it to me personally. Either way, it's fine. Some tips for the first phase, because that's the hardest phase for most people, getting to know the mentor a little bit better. Ask them questions that you would ask anybody when you're getting to know them. Maybe their journey through school or their present work situation, what they're into, inside and outside of optometry. Maybe it's their sports, hobbies, their job, what makes them tick. Again, making sure that you establish a set schedule and expectations when you talk to them so that you have something moving forward. And then throughout the relationship, if they're helping you on your goals, make sure that you keep them updated on your progress and thank them for anything that they contributed because, everybody loves that appreciation. And if they're doing this for out of the goodness of their hearts and donating their time, it's really nice to hear this from students. And then if you're able to help them with anything, questions about your journey, maybe they want you to introduce you to somebody, anything like that, if you're able to help them, it really does make it more of a two-sided relationship. Again, and the last bullet here is just to emphasize, if you're able to visit your mentors, I really recommend that you visit them, whether at their work or in the hometown, or if they're in the city where you're from, visit them when you go back for the holidays and when you visit your parents. Phase 2 and Phase 3 we touched on a little bit in that graphic. Again, there are a lot of events during the year, some that we put on, some that we just, the Career Development Center just hosts. I recommend that if you get a chance, try and involve your mentors if they're around. Phase 3, now your colleagues, you graduate, and we definitely will try and get you to become a mentor for one of our students once you graduate. Hopefully, you would have gotten enough value out of this program to give back. And we went over that before. So here's the timeline of how things are going to work. September this year, we're going to make sure that all of you get this orientation, which by this point you would have gotten. Get you signed up on SUNY Network. By October, we hope to have all of you matched, work through any issues, and if we have to rematch you, we'll do that. And October is when you want to have your first meeting with your mentor. All right? November through May, you want to go ahead and keep that relationship going, continue working on your goals, develop those relationships. Any issues at all you want to work through with your mentors. And then by May, that'll be the end of the mentorship. The class of 2020 will graduate. And this is a great time to leverage those relationships to help with any, with your early career. So that could be, introducing you to other ODs, getting you involved in the state association, helping you find jobs. These are all great things that a mentor could help you with. I want to just emphasize that, everyone's really busy. Your mentor is busy. You're busy. But your experience is really what you make of it. Some people put a lot of time into this and develop those relationships, and they end up having a great rapport and a great relationship with their mentors and then they become colleagues and they keep in touch, and this has happened to a number of our students. Other people, they kind of just put this on the back burner and don't really take initiative, and so by the end of the year, they haven't really developed that relationship too much. And so it is your responsibility to pursue the relationship. I will try to help you as much as possible, send you reminders, but it is up to you to be proactive in the mentoring program. All right, so the next steps, again, go ahead and create profiles on SUNYinetwork.org. Rank the 3 mentors. I'll go ahead and send out a form shortly so that you can list who they are. We'll select the mentors next Friday, and there will be another lunch meeting to follow with food, so hopefully some of you will be able to make it. So that's it for this orientation video. Hopefully it wasn't too long, but this will at least give you enough information so that you can get started, and I will follow up with an email. Thanks, everyone.